Hi, everybody. It's Sandy Boushie here for our Sunday with Sandy's. It's my Facebook Live video again. And this week, I have to admit, I honestly debated whether I was going to do this video or not. If you live in Canada and you don't know about Colton Boushie, that highlights to me how wide the divide is between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, because I think there would be very few Indigenous people in this country who don't know what happened in Saskatchewan. So really summarizing it, a young Indigenous man and his friends got drunk, got stupid, went onto someone's property, and ended up dying because of it. And the person who shot him was acquitted. Now, whether you feel that was justified or not, and trust me, there's a whole bunch of us that are just feeling attacked and vulnerable and hurt by this decision. And I just want to be crystal clear here. An Indigenous life is as valuable as anyone else's lives. Our young men are just as valuable, even when they do stupid things. I live in Northern Ontario, and drinking is part of growing up here. Whether you're Indigenous or not, there are very few of us who can't think of stupid things we've done when we were drinking. Just we're fortunate enough we didn't die because of it. I hesitated making this video today because I'm a motivational speaker and I'm just not feeling upbeat and positive right now. I will go on. The work will continue because this situation can't continue. There is so much misunderstanding. There are so many non-Indigenous people that have been raised to believe that Indigenous people are dangerous, that we're a threat, that somehow, for some reason, you have to be scared of us, that somehow we are less civilized, and that is so much crap. There's challenges in our communities. That's what happens to a group of people that have been oppressed for a long time. Our families don't know how to parent because they were taken from their parents. We don't have a thriving economy because for the longest time we weren't allowed to. We needed passes to leave the community, and laws were created to discourage people taking us as partners. The divide is ridiculous. And we are not the advantaged group, nor are the systems in place fair across the board. If you honestly believe that Indigenous people are treated as fairly in our justice system, you need to do your research, because that is fake news. As I mentioned, the work is going to go on because I'm not going to let Colton die in vain. His passing, his life being taken so violently at such a young age is the cry to us all that this has to change. So the journey continues for the ones that came before and for the ones that come next. If my eyes look a little red, it's because I've been crying, because I had to sit down with my son today, a proud young Indigenous man, and talk about this situation and talk about my fear for him and how I would feel if it was him. Because the reality is it so easily could be. Our youngsters are the ones that are followed around a store as soon as they walk in because stereotypes preach that they must be there to steal something. We are not thieves. We are not prostitutes. And we are not victims. The journey continues. So As I mentioned in my Facebook post this morning, and if you're not a Facebook friend, you wouldn't have seen that, but there's a metaphor I use in seminars quite often, and I call it the wall. And if you imagine a wall that's low enough that you can climb up on it, but wide enough that you can dance on it, and that's the wall that's dividing Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. And there's people like me that are dancing on the wall, and I've been lucky to dance on the wall for years through education and life experience and just sheer determination. We are able to dance in either world, and we're accepted and respected in either world. We work with the people that are touching the wall, who want to get on that wall, who want to be able to form respectful relationships across that wall, but they're lacking information. They're the people that ask the respectful questions. They're the people that watch videos like this because they want to see things change too, because they know something is desperately wrong. But on both sides of that wall, far away from the wall, are the people that believe it's never going to change. They're the ones that scream out the horrible slurs. They're the ones that condemn any attempt at building bridges. They're the ones that are the problem. But if the dancers, if we focused on trying to work with them, we would get exhausted and we would get nowhere. But they're the ones that scream the loudest. It's been a hard last 48 hours watching the ridiculous racial slurs and arguments and the horrible things that are being said and posted on Facebook. A young man died. Whatever you think of his actions, we have to understand that people are grieving a loss. I talk about walking softly, that this is the time. If you are engaging with Indigenous people over the next little while, I want you to treat them as people who are grieving, because so many of us are. It doesn't matter whether you think the verdict was fair. It doesn't matter whether you think Colton's actions were understandable or totally outrageous. People are grieving. And now is not the time to debate. Now is not the time to judge. Now that is the time to walk softly and support each other as we try to go on from this horrible, horrific loss. Our warriors are falling, our women are falling, and it has to stop. As a mother, as a grandmother, I'm doing my part. And I hope that you're gonna join me on that wall and dance with me. And it doesn't matter what your cultural teachings are. They're important to you, and I respect that. My cultural teachings are important to me. Please respect that. We don't need to be the same. Coat of many colors here. Differences are beautiful. Differences is what makes this world exciting, and we have to start getting okay with that. I love you exactly the way you are. Please love me and my son exactly the same way. Until next Sunday, I love you. Bye-bye.